This is a Stock Trading Reality Podcast, episode 203.
I was like, I need to start investing in my retirement before I turn 21. That was my goal age, is before I can drink, I got to start investing.
This is the Stock Trading Reality Podcast, where you get to see the realistic side of a trader's journey. Get inspired and stay motivated by everyday normal people who are currently on their journey to trading success. And this is your host, his daughter Dot, thanks to a popcorn bowl, understands work smarter, not harder. Play trader.
This absolutely warmed my heart. My wife gets home and they were at a birthday party. So with my two oldest, Joy and then Dot. And she says, "You're going to get a kick out of this." And I thought, uh-oh, here we go. And they were watching a movie at this birthday party. And part of the movie, of course, you got to have popcorn. Popcorn bowl is set down. And the kids just rush to it. And Dot just stands there. Just stands there. And the kids finish up with, filling up their little bowls of popcorn. And Dot just walks up, grabs the entire bowl, and takes it with her. And I thought, there you go, Dot. That's the epitome of working smarter, not harder. So Dot, I don't know I don't know what she wants to do. She's only 4.5, but I think she's got maybe a potential. I like where her future is headed. If she can just learn to think that way, that's how you do it. That's and she clearly gets that from my wife. I am not that smart of a person, but my wife is definitely very practical like that. Why fight? Just let them fight. Now, of course, this is the trader coming out in me. There's a little risk in the situation. The risk being, well, is there going to be any popcorn left? However, perhaps Dot realized that the amount of kids and the volume that amount of kids could fit into their bowls, and then the amount of volume of popcorn in the big bowl, it would have been impossible for the popcorn to disappear. So maybe Dot did those calculations and analyzing in her head. So that I don't know, but if not, that would have been the only risk that would need to be accounted for, is just making sure that the volumes all line up to ensure that it'd be impossible for the popcorn to run out. But I think she probably did that in some way or another, and she knew, I'll just pick up the popcorn bowl afterwards. But yeah, I got a kick out of that. My wife was right. Pretty funny story, but let's move on to our guest. And I got to be careful with the fun facts, because I realize the irony. I'm doing it right now. When the kid ones come up, you kind of just want to keep talking about it because it's your kids. But I do realize, and I do remember before I had kids. I mean, it's cute, don't get me wrong, when other people talk about their kids. So I don't want to come across like that. But there is that fine line where it's like, okay, yeah, we get it. So I don't want to cross over that fine line. So I got to be careful when I do the fun facts for kids. But today speaking of kids, I'm just kidding, Eilliot. I'm just kidding. But we have a younger, a man of the younger generation. Eilliot has joined us, and he's 20, as you'll figure out. But I really enjoyed this because there's some great learning lessons in here that are totally unintended. But if you just listen through, they play out perfectly. And I'll offer up a little bit of a spoiler, but towards the end, I start to press Eilliot about his strategies, what he's looking for. And you'll notice that he kind of struggles to explain exactly what he wants to do, what he's looking for. And then I ask him about another type of strategy. And at first he gives me another answer where I'm like, and I'm thinking, and then I ask him, I press him a little bit more on the question, and then, okay, this, and then that, and then I look for this, and then I want to see things act like that, and he actually explains very well what he's looking for, and I come in just to clarify to make sure that I'm not making any faulty assumptions. He's, oh yeah, exactly, and it really made a great real-life example of how you need to be able to explain things. And if you can't explain what you're trying to do, you probably shouldn't be doing it. And it's all been reflected in his trading too. I realize a lot of that seems like, well, that's all common sense. You would think it's common sense, but I assure you, common sense can get lost in a hurry when we get into this crazy world we call trading. But definitely stick around, especially if you're a younger listener. I think Eilliot's a great motivation of what can be accomplished and what pathways you can put yourself on at younger ages that really are going to set you up very nicely. We talked briefly about his retirement account, but he's a 20-year-old kid that's already got a nice little chunk of change in his retirement, and he's got a bright future ahead of him. There's no doubt about that. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of work that he needs to do, and he realizes that he needs to do. But he's chipping away. He's working, and it's good motivation to me for more so of the, hey, we've all been there, but with hard work, being on the right pathway with the right perspective, you can get to wherever you want to go. So I am definitely, no matter what your age, there's going to be some nuggets of wisdom and experience that I think you'll be able to relate to and use as motivation. But without further ado, let's get to Eilliot. Eilliot, welcome to the show.
Welcome. Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
You're doing great. Now, we thought we were going to have to push this back, and then last second, you pulled the audible on us and said, hey, I can make it work. So we're here making it work. Was not expecting it, but I'm not complaining. And I'm assuming you had some sort of job, right? Is that what you said it was?
Yeah, I ended up having to go out of office and helping on a shoot for a little bit, but then it didn't go as long as I thought it was going to go.
Gotcha. So you were erring on the side of caution, which we appreciate, and now things worked out perfect. Now I have to ask, you have a dirt bike as your avatar, so I'm going to assume that you're into like motorsports, or is that a false assumption on my part?
There would be a correct assumption.
Good. I like when I make correct assumptions.
The picture is actually me. I've been riding dirt bikes since I was 4 years old. My dad was into them, and that's how I got into it.
Okay, since you've been 4, and how old are you now?
I am 20 years old, just turned 20.
Awesome, good. I thought you were a younger guy, and I like to get the younger crew on here because you got to represent. Well, you're not. Are you counted as a millennial or no?
No, I think millennial. Anyone above 22 now is a millennial because my sister.
So what are you?
Generation Z or X?
Okay, your
I don't
generation.
even know. It's one of those.
Yeah. Kind of just you were born in like gray territory. You're a reject of society, I guess. Maybe you're the reject generation. I don't know what it is. That's how I am. I was born in 1983, and like I've literally seen the generations, and like the range is 1983 is like in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't fall in any of them. So I don't. Some surveys I think I'm Generation X or whatever. Other ones I'm I'm a millennial. I don't know what I am, Eilliot. I'm very confused, but it sounds like you can relate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you ready to get this party started?
For sure.
Good. No, I got to ask. So it's none of my business. So you can tell me, but you said you had a shoot. So are you talking like a gun shoot, a photo shoot? What kind of shoot does
like a video shoot?
A video shoot.
Yeah, I work for a production company, a marketing company that does their own video production and website development. So it's pretty cool.
I don't think I know where are you in LA? Where do you live?
I live in Maine.
Maine.
Northeast.
I don't think I could have been any further away with my guess. I'm thinking Los Angeles because you're doing video shoots for marketing, but you may be the first person from Maine ever on the show. And this is like episode 203 or something. I mean, we'll get to this at the end of this because right now listeners want to hear about trading, but I'm fascinated. I don't know anything that much about Maine other than lobster. You like lobsters, right? Isn't the lobster,
Yeah, lobster's big up here. I don't love it like some people do, but if you want good lobster, come here.
What are you, a communist or something? You don't like lobster. What kind
I do. It's just so rich. I can't eat a ton of it.
All right, we're gonna have to move on. This is just frustrating to me. But all right, where did all this start for you? I mean, you're a 20-year-old kid. I should listen to me. I'm like some old guy calling you a kid. You're a 20-year-old young man.
That's okay.
But where did all this start as far as hearing about the market, and then what all kind of played out that got you more interested to decide, you know what, I want to get a little bit more hands-on with it, and we'll pick it up from there. So yeah, where did all this start for you?
I think the first time I heard about stock markets, I was either like 7 or 8, and it was just someone told me that they had bought uh, shares in the Celtics as a gift for someone or something like that. And I was just like, excuse me, my laptop fell asleep. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you. Yep. Yeah. So
Okay, cool.
your sleeping laptop is not a problem.
Okay, yeah. I've learned at a young age that you could buy shares or parts of a company. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And it can go up and make money and blah, 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 like everyone hears. But I didn't really know much about that. And then probably like my junior year in high school. So I graduated in 2017. So probably 2015, I was like, they're all talking about, everyone in school is talking about college and what you're going to do for the rest of your life. And I'm just like, I have no idea. But I know I'm interested in like computers, and I knew I wanted to figure out how to make a living by using my computer and computer skills and interest in computers. So that brought me to the search engine, searching for jobs of such that would allow me to do that. And stock trading came up a couple times, and it seemed like the most viable and like quote unquote legitimate way to make money from home.
Out of
And
curiosity, what were some of these other results that came up in your search that you deemed, no, that's not viable?
A lot of them were like weird spend time online taking surveys, or like referral programs, sort of like Amazon, like Student Prime does a thing where if you're in college, they try to get you to like sell things to other students and then you get commission. And I was sort of interested in that, and I'm like, I don't know, that doesn't seem, I'm not much of a salesman. I don't like the salesman vibe, really.
Are you scared of
And
shoe stores like I am? Because you go in there and the salesmen just like attack you like piranhas.
yeah, a little bit.
I don't know. I'm not even trying to be funny. I can't stand shoe stores because those salespeople are. I don't. I think it's just I don't like salespeople on commission necessarily because they can be
Yeah.
extra feisty. But so I get it. You definitely have a personality for that stuff. And did you see any of the? I totally remember way back when, even when I was in college and doing those searches, it was taking surveys and you just sit here and you fill out surveys and you're going to make all this money. And it's like, did you ever do any of that?
I think I signed up for one with like a burner email and a fake name and number and stuff just to like see what it was about. And it was like kind of legit, but the time you'd have to spend to make like any worth money, it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you broke it down in per hour, it was probably well below minimum wage. And I was like, all right, well, there's got to be some other ways to go about all of this. Do you remember what the search was? Did you search for computer skills, jobs that require computers? How did you? Because that's fascinating. I would commend you. Hey, way to think smart. What do I like to do, and then how can I try to monetize what I like to do? So that's a great pathway to try to take. But do you remember what actual like I said, Google, whatever search engine you were using, what were you actually typing in that brought, hey, I'm good with computers, and then all of a sudden stock trading came about?
First it evolved over time, but I think it started with like jobs from home, jobs you can do on a computer, or like digital jobs. And then I think the stocks caught my eye, stock market, for all the potential, and I've heard of it all my life, and I knew like the government was involved, so it was pretty like, I don't know, like a quote unquote safe bet. safer than
Yeah,
online
I mean,
surveys.
the knowing that there was some sort of regulations and ruling governing body made you feel better.
Yeah, better and worse. You know how that goes. But
Yeah. I was kind of, that was going to be my next point is there's always that gray area where, yeah, it's good that the government's involved from a confidence perspective, because I'm fully with you. I mean, whenever somebody sends me hey, what about this broker? I'm like, I don't know. The first thing you need to do is, are they registered with the required agencies? So clearly I also like the fact that the government's involved because, there's a referee out there. But yeah, then you get into the pattern day trading rule and many other areas, and it's like, okay, government, yeah, that's good, but yeah, go someplace else. But so you landed on stock trading, and you said, that seemed to be the most viable. So pick it up back up from there. Where did your journey head?
so after that, I think I realized that I enjoyed math and numbers. So I figured that it wouldn't be a terrible fit for me. So I'm sorry, what was the question? What was the original
I was just
question?
asking you, you said you had deemed trading through all your research was, something that was actually viable. And I was just wondering,
Yes.
okay, well, you deemed it was viable. So then what did you do from that point?
So I deemed it was viable. I said, okay, I could probably do that. And in my head, I was like, I eventually want to get to the point where it's my only source of income. But later down the road, that changed, but we'll get to that. So I just started learning or going down the YouTube rabbit hole, like just trying to get myself brushed up with like as much lingo or terms and knowledge that I can find. And that's where it eventually brought me to your channel, which I found really like at first, I don't know, it was like the tough love aspect of it is what like almost sold me on it, because you were so like honest and just like, hey, you get what you put into it, and that spoke to me.
Were you seeing stuff out there that was the opposite of that? Were some people out there making it seem a little maybe too good to be true?
Oh yeah, for sure. You got the gurus online that are just like, hey, look at me, I did this already, so why can't you?
As they stand in front of their yachts and their mansions and their scantily clad women, all that. So you've seen all the late night marketing tactics is what you're getting at here.
Yeah, I still get all those ads all the time.
Did you ever like sign up for any of their email lists or anything?
No.
Well, that's not a very good story. You were supposed to say, yes, I did, and send me all these gimmicky emails, but that's okay. No. Well, that actually very wise on your part. So good. Well, I'm glad and I'm going to try not to rant here, because I realize, every generation has some bad apples, but, sometimes, with the younger generation, don't be so sensitive. It's like some people are like, why are you such a jerk? Why are you so mean? It's like, I'm sorry that because I tell the truth. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm a little rough around the edges, but I'm glad to hear that you actually found that endearing, that, hey, this guy's he's telling it how it is, because that it offends some people that, you say, hey, you probably shouldn't do it that way. What? You're a jerk. So good. Thank you for that feedback. I'm glad you took all the videos, especially the ones that some people deem jerkish. I'm glad you took those as they were to be attended. So, I mean, I got to ask, what were your searches that do you remember hot stocks? What exactly were you running for your search criteria on YouTube?
Oh, I don't even know. It was probably terrible if I could go back and look at it.
That's why I like this question. Usually I get terrible answers, but it serves as great learning examples. Probably like how to trade, super broad questions, I would assume.
Yeah, like how to start trading, how to open a broker, like what I don't know. I probably searched what drives the stock or something like that. And then you come to find out that pretty much nothing drives the price of the stock.
Yeah, supply and demand drive the stock, but I would say your head was in the right spot. That was just essentially what makes a stock move, and that's That's a good kind of thought process to have. But as I'm sure you know now, still way too broad of a thought process. So, okay, you are you're in the YouTube rabbit hole. You're in the YouTube sea of
Yeah.
information. You find my videos. Did you just continue to watch them? And let me ask you this. At this point, you don't have a broker or anything, right? You're just still in flat out research mode right now.
Yes, correct.
Okay, all right.
So
So it's not like you've blown up any accounts or anything like that. So you find my videos
No.
and then pick it back up from there.
So I find your videos. I go through a few. I watch them for a while. Oh, and somewhere in there, I find out about your website. I found that. I looked at all that. I was very I went through every page. I tried to find things on you that tried to hurt your character. No offense. I tried to see if there was anything bad online about you, and I couldn't find anything that was legitimately this guy's a scammer.
Oh, okay. I have to just thank you for throwing in that word, because I was going to say, well, there is stuff out there, but yes, legitimate. And I always laugh when some people are like, "What, did you see this?" I'm like, "Yeah." Do you realize the context of that? I mean, there's a couple articles out there where it's just like, okay, somebody is making all these claims. All these claims could easily be justified if they just went into the chat room, took some screenshots, but all they do is make claims. And then there's other where people, it's like they bash everything. But this person's is great. Well, what they're not telling you is that I don't offer an affiliate program, but that person who they're actually pointing to does offer an affiliate program. So if you sign up through their stuff, then guess what? That person gets paid. So let's see, if my main motive is affiliate marketing, getting paid, of course I'm going to bash the person that doesn't offer it, so that therefore I can lead people to the person that does offer it. So yes, thank you for throwing in that word legitimate, because there is, I'm not going to sit here and proclaim that there's nothing bad out there on me, but I would say you need a little bit more context in terms of what some of those sources are. But that's funny you said, well, and good on you. Again, you got a good head on your shoulders, because yes, I realize I at this point in time, I was a total random stranger to you. And if this is the first time to you listeners out there, I'm a total random stranger to you. So, I mean, by all means, I'm not offended. Go do your research. I would just say that make sure you keep in context of what some of these sources may be, because anybody can open up a site and say whatever they want. And other people can definitely bash people, and in the spirit of getting them to go with other people that offer the affiliate marketing. So sorry for cutting you off, but not sorry, because you made a great point by throwing in that one word of legitimate. What were some of the things? Did you find some bad stuff out there that you were like, no, that's just not legitimate?
Pertaining to you?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
What? You didn't? Okay, well, I guess.
Well, I guess I didn't look hard enough. I'm sure I could find right now a ton of angry Facebook comments and make a whole thing about how terrible Clay Trader is because of these angry reviews. But I saw those angry reviews. I'm just like, those are just mad people that aren't.
Okay, and there we go. And that's that's a lot to do with it too. But it also sounds like, I'm assuming you were never, you're not much of a conspiracy theorist either.
No.
Okay.
Not really.
Because the one out there is just like, oh, his group is, I don't know, maybe you've seen it now. I mean, I know you've seen us joke around about it in the chat room, but depending on what your thought process was going in, then you could definitely go down some dark rabbit holes in terms of, oh, that's quite the conspiracy theory. But good. I'm glad you were never in that camp thinking that, the group is some massive penny stock hedge fund that only shorts penny stocks. And to listeners out there, I'm not trying to be funny right now. There are people out there that believe that we're just a big group, and the videos I do are like Batman, the bat signal up in the air, and those are the stocks we're all going to go as a group and pounding in the ground. And it can get a little loony out there, but I guess welcome to the world of penny stocks in some of those cases. And but so you did your research, you didn't find anything, and I want to say you started with just the inner circle, or did you go full bore in? I can't quite remember, but I feel like you started with the inner circle.
I didn't start with the inner circle. I went full bore right away.
Did you? All right. Well, my apologies. And well, How long did the whole research phase take you?
Uh, Kind of a while. I wanted to make sure it was something I wanted to do, so I found your site. I saw like your live trading, so I'm like, okay, this guy's pretty legit, and then I can it proved to me that there is money to be made in the market. So I found all your stuff, watched your videos, probably for about a year before I decided to purchase the course. I wanted to make sure, I wanted to be like a year from now, if I still want to trade stocks and do the money markets or be in the money market, then I can purchase it now 1 year later. And then a year passed. I was like, I still want to do it. Purchased it, said hey in the chat probably, and then I like vacated the chat for a while and just did some of the courses, slowly went through the courses. And now I'm I'm in the advanced courses, but I haven't gone through all of them yet.
You are trading with real money though, right? Right now?
Yes.
Okay. Which I'm not trying to trick you or anything. I mean, the advanced courses are more so just FYI type stuff. Did you go through the courses in order?
Yes, I did. I did a robotic trade. Well, actually, no, I did. The only one out of order I did was growing or grow
The
rich.
Grow Rich one.
And then yeah.
But that's not really out of order because that's more of an investing course, whereas the other ones are more so trading. So I'd give you a free pass there. I wouldn't call that necessarily going out of order.
But I definitely started with robotic trading training.
Okay. And I'm assuming if it took you a year, first off, I mean, well done. People always say, don't impulse buy, sleep on it, right? Sleep on it. How do you feel the next day? You were like, let's see how I feel on it the next year. So certainly nobody can accuse you of rushing into anything. And I think that can go quite a ways. But was that the same style you applied when you were going through the courses, or were you just flying through those things, or were you just moving nice, slow, and methodically?
I was sort of moving slow and methodically through them. And then I started trading with real money after I finished robotic trading, which was not a good idea, but it didn't hurt me majorly.
What did you start to well, let me ask you a couple questions. Were you trading with money that, I mean, you could afford to lose if it, went poof? It's not like you're going to be living under a bridge somewhere or anything.
Yeah, I wasn't trading with like my living funds. If I lost it all, I wouldn't go broke. I wouldn't have to do anything major. I would be bummed out I lost it, but I was okay mentally with losing it.
Okay, because that's always an important step where people rush into the market and then they're using the money they really shouldn't, and things can turn into things can get messy. That's probably the best way to put it. And but it's good. I mean, yeah, you definitely jumped in way too soon with just robotic trading. But then did you do? I guess, what did you start to trade? Let's. I'm curious how that actually went. So was this? I'm assuming just straight up stock, because you had learned nothing about options at that point in time. So I mean, what kind of stocks were you trading? Penny stocks, or what was your ideal situation?
I was kind of just trading stocks that like I heard about, and with companies or products that I believe in. So I was doing like, you're gonna laugh at this one. I bought some Snapchat, and then I sold it a few days later and made like $100. And I was AMD. I could probably pull up all my old transactions.
It sounds like, were you using charts that much, or were you just flat out saying, hey, I use Snapchat, I think Snapchat is good, hey, I know what AMD does, AMD, and I mean, did charts actually play a role, or is this just more of a kind of a fundamental / I can relate to this stock and I use their product type approach?
That's almost how I like chose the stock, and then I used the charting to be like, sure, that looks right. I like had some, what's it called? Self confirmation belief. I don't know what it.
No, I know what you mean. So your scanner, quote unquote, was not any sort of piece of software. Your scanner
No.
was more so, hey, just do I recognize that stock from a practical standpoint? Hey, I recognize Snapchat. It's on my phone. Hey, I recognize AMD. I use their processors in my computer. Is that essentially kind of how your scanner worked? And then you use the chart to more so kind of narrow down your actual entry point?
Yeah. It was just kind of like I used a chart to be like, to determine if it was a momentum trade or not.
Okay,
or
well,
like
I got to
if
be
everything
honest.
else looked okay.
Okay, well, so far, I'm looking to see where things went wrong. Maybe they don't go wrong. I don't know, and that's the beauty of these. It's not like they're scripted or anything. But your scanning method, I mean, you're probably cutting yourself short on a lot of things. But I mean, it's not like, oh, I use Snapchat, close eyes, buy stock. That's not what you said. You're just, oh, I like Snapchat. Let me take a look at the chart. I'm assuming things ended up going bad, but I don't know. So how did this continue to go for you with this strategy?
So I opened an account with TD Ameritrade for like $2,000. Well, exactly $2,000. And I bought some Snapchat, some AMD, and then maybe like Nvidia and Intel. And then I made a couple dollars on I think the AMD and Snapchat trade. So, and then it started to go downhill. I was like getting sloppy, just like doing random trades, not even like thinking, like not really thinking about it, just like buying and being like, I got the rush, like the market rush. I'm like, oh, it's so cool to just be in here and making money. And I had a couple losing trades, but they weren't like major. And then I like got a couple more winning trades after learning more from you.
Let me interrupt real quick. Things got sloppy. So sloppy in the sense of you just stopped looking at the charts altogether. They got sloppy in the sense of you're still looking at the charts, but you didn't really listen to what they were actually telling you. Because we all get sloppy in our trading, but that is just a soundbite, like sloppy. That can take so many forms. So more so, I mean, you said you stopped thinking. Okay, well, stop thinking in what ways?
I think it was more like I got sloppy thinking I knew I knew something I didn't.
Oh, that was, well put.
If that
well
makes
put.
sense.
It does. It makes perfect sense. Or in other words, you're getting maybe a little overconfident in yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And overconfidence, that is one of the things. It can certainly lead to sloppiness. I speak firsthand from that. So now you said you took a couple losses, but then they weren't anything big. How did you keep those losses under control? Because I mean, we've heard it many times here, and it's a common theme of just people in general. You can have wins, but then sometimes it's just a loss or a couple losses, and all of a sudden everything just goes haywire because they don't even really necessarily know how to take the loss, how to keep it controlled. But it sounds like your losses were pretty controlled. So I mean,
I would say they were as controlled as you can get without having actual control over them. I didn't have proper stop losses set up or anything like that. I didn't even really know how to set that up properly, which sort of led me to like the next sort of transition.
Okay, yeah, you're walking on thin ice. Because like I said, you're in control, but you weren't I was about in as much control before kind of going over the edge there. And that's
I was just checking them every day, and then if the red got too big, I was just like, oh, I'll just get rid of it now.
Do you remember how you defined quote unquote too big?
If I looked at it and I felt real bad. So no.
So in other words, if there's not much strategy going on, it's
over $50.
Okay, but like you said, if you felt bad, then that was kind of all she wrote then. And I appreciate your honesty and candor, because we've all been there. Whether or not people want to admit it, I don't know. But yeah, I just looked, and depending on how it made me feel, that's how that was my risk management strategy. Was straight up my feelings and what my tummy was telling me to do. But that's funny. So I mean, you said here that you started to make a transition. Then I mean, did you take a big loss that kind of smacked you in the face, or did you kind of just realize on your own and admit to yourself that there's probably more to it? I'm probably a little bit too far ahead of myself.
Yeah, there's definitely some of that where I was like, okay, I need to definitely take a step back, slow down, like really finish studying or study more at least. So after like a couple months of trading, I ended up only down $257 from 2000, which is a little bit of money, but it's not a huge loss. I didn't blow up my account or anything, so I didn't feel too bad
honestly,
about that.
From what you were describing, I'd say not too bad.
I got lucky.
Given that you didn't seem to have, I mean, you had a strategy, but then you said it got sloppy, and then all of a sudden, so given what you laid out, I would say that it's good that you took at least robotic trading, because it sounds like that offered some bare bones structure in terms of making sure things didn't totally spin out of control on you.
Yeah, I think I'd be down a lot more if I just hadn't taken robotics trading.
But so you did finally determine, okay, there's got to be more to it. So did you pause your trading, or did you just decide to scale back your trading? What was the next kind of plan of action after realizing, you said you were doing this for a couple of months. So then what occurred?
What I did was I took all the money out of my TD Ameritrade account, put in my bank account, and then started going through the steps of opening an Interactive Brokers account. But before any of this happened, I had started my retirement account with the TD Ameritrade. So I had two TD Ameritrade accounts, and the $7 trade fee was like, it was too big for me. But so I wanted to switch to Interactive Brokers. So, but I still have my retirement account with TD Ameritrade. I got that going before I started like messing around in my trading account.
Yeah, no, that's great. And are you still do you still add to it monthly?
No, not yet. I did a initial like $3,500 because I wanted to contribute last tax season, but I just didn't get to it.
No, that's great. For, again, context sake, 20, or you're probably like 19 at this point, right?
Yeah, I started my retirement when I was 19. My goal was, even before I found you or anything, I was like, I need to start investing in my retirement before I turn 21. That was my like goal age, is before I can drink, I got to start investing.
That's for you younger folk out there that are watching this. There you go. I mean, that's I think that's a very admirable goal, and that's a mentality, that's a thought process that'll take you far. Not even just in trading, but just in life. Trying to, all right, well, what should my list of priorities actually be? So you have, and yeah, I fully agree. And to listeners out there, if you're paying $7 on your commissions, that's way too much. There are so many better brokers out there, especially from the investing standpoint. There are so many brokers out there that will offer better ones. You can come to the site, and I have plenty of documentation on it. But yeah, I fully agree with your logic that, yeah, $7 seems to be a bit too much. So you move that into Interactive Brokers, and did you? No, let's see. You haven't said anything about options or anything. So it's not like you were doing this for options trading. You just wanted to get away from the commissions. Is that basically the only reason why you did switch to Interactive?
Yeah, and I liked just the commission. And even though I didn't have a full size account, it was still cheaper commission. So I decided to go with that.
No, absolutely. Commissions matter a lot. Now, when you were doing all of this in the background, are you starting to do like robotic trading, skill sharpening, and RVR trading? Did you hit back up the courses, or are those still kind of on the back burner?
The whole time I'm sort of doing courses. The whole time I'm trading. Kind of like this month, or not this month, this summer, I took a month in between all of this where I didn't trade or I didn't learn just because I was busy doing stuff. But then I got back into it. And then so like fallish is when I started transitioning to interactive brokers from TD.
Okay.
And I had completed RVR training before I started.
Did you ever do skill sharpening?
Yes.
Okay, good. Did you print out the guides and draw on them?
Yeah. Well, I didn't print them out. I used a thing.
Like an online screen marker?
An ink marker, yeah, on my computer.
Perfect. So you got interactive then with it is what I was hoping to hear, which is what you said. So good. All right. Well, at this point, then it sounds like, I'm assuming that you treated the courses seriously, which it sounds like you did. But I'm assuming your chart vision has really picked up pace, that you're probably feeling more confident in yourself.
Yes.
Were you feeling more confident? Did you kind of start to realize, oh yeah, there is a lot more to it that I was leaving out?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Everything I learned, it showed me that I had even more to learn.
And that you were way far ahead of yourself going live, probably. Yeah. That's
I probably still
but like
am
you were saying, when you don't know what you don't necessarily know, then you can get overconfident and then things get sloppy. But now it sounds like because you had more knowledge, and now when you're looking back in hindsight, you were really thinking, "Oh, that was not so good." Yeah, so, I mean, what did you do next? You had RVR trading. You're in the process of opening up interactive brokers. Did you fund it right away, or did you just keep kind of plowing through the education while you were waiting for that to play out? Because I know brokers can always be a little goofy in terms of how long it takes to set them up.
I was taking classes while in the process of funding it. So I funded it, and it took like a few days, like 10 days for it to go through, whatever. So I was doing some learning here and there, just like lurking in the chat room. And then once I got to interactive brokers, I was excited for all the order types, and that's when I really like got down and figured out stop orders and having tight stop losses and setting it up so I only lose certain types or certain amounts of money instead of just letting it go and being like, oh, I should have sold.
How do you determine what amounts of money you are willing to lose?
How do I determine it?
Yeah, I mean, so if I tell you, are you willing to lose $50, or are you willing to lose $100, or you want to lose $1,000? I mean, where did you
probably like less? I'd like to keep my losses below $50.
Okay, and that $50 is why? Is that a certain percentage of your account? Is that just something that you've learned starts to make you nervous when it starts to get above $50? Where did this? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the number 50. I'm just saying, where did you learn that $50 is kind of the number that you want to be at?
It was more like just what I personally felt okay with losing. I think now it's gotten smaller because I'm still learning like how and realizing how order types, order size, well, not types, but sizes, and how much that can affect your loss or win. So it was kind of just an arbitrary number with no rhyme or reason, to be honest.
Okay, so and we're still talking about in the past then, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right now, do you have a better handle on things then? I'm guessing.
Yeah, I would still say I like to keep my losses below 50, but I try to keep them no more than $20.
Okay, but back then there was gray area still, and
I was okay with losing money because I'm like, I'm gonna lose money because I'm learning anyway.
right. And even if you weren't learning, even if you were a professional trader, you're still going to lose money because losing happens no matter what. But yeah, you're absolutely right, especially in the learning process. If it happens to professionals, then it's definitely going to happen to you in the learning process when you're still trying to, kind of get your feet underneath you. Now, how long ago was all this? I mean, when you were kind of still, you got RVR, you got Interactive Brokers. Did you mention, you said the fall time of 2018 then?
Yeah, fairly recently. So like probably most of this happened in the last quarter of 2018.
Okay, because you just showed back up, because I had seen the name, and then like you said in your story, you did kind of just disappear or whatever. And recently, you've definitely been around a lot more. So is this you're trading with real money right now, correct?
Yes.
And what are the strategies? What are kind of setups are you looking for? Options are not have nothing to do with this, right?
Yeah, not yet.
Okay. So what is, I guess, walk through what sort of setups, what sort of strategies and such you're using right now. I think you're day trading, but I guess now that I stop and think about it and talk out loud, I suppose I don't know that for sure, but I'll let you explain exactly what you're currently doing in the markets.
So my strategy's kind of been like all whack. I've been trying different things.
All what?
Think all whack, all out
Whack,
of whack. I don't know.
Things
Wacky.
Just, yeah, wacky. All right. I believe it or not. I mean, I'm old, but I know. I thought you said whack, and I'm like, okay, I remember that terminology. But so for you, people with more life experience than myself and Eilliot, whack just means, wacky.
Crazy.
But wacky within the world of trading is
Goofy.
goofy. So,
Goofy
all right,
is the
well,
word
let's
I'd
talk
call
about the goofiness then. I mean, what exactly do you have a strategy right now, or are you still flat out in the process of trying to figure that out?
I kind of have a strategy, but I'm more in the process of it. I'm definitely still learning. So I started out with like swing trading because of the pattern day trade rule, and I was sort of like having a little luck with that, but then I decided to start day trading within the pattern day trade rule. So I would try to day trade for as much as I could, which isn't much, but I would try to make like one day trade based off of the trading pit watch lists, usually the sub 10 ones, because I only had a few grand in my account. And there were 2 days in a row where I made over $60 each day. And I was just like, so this is a possibility, but I'm not making money yet. I'm not in the green total.
Because you were still, so you'd made $60 those 2 days, but you're saying the other days they were red days, or?
Yeah, like I had an $80 day, and then I had a bunch of like little like $20 and $30 days.
Of
So
losses.
I've never, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, it sounds like nothing massive, which is what you were saying. So, I mean, you're definitely, let me ask this. Do you have any problems taking losses? Does it drive you nuts? Is it
Not
hard
really.
to take a loss? Or it sounds like you don't, but I mean, how do losses affect you, mentally, emotionally, and all that stuff?
They definitely like bum me out a little bit, but I've come to learn that it's part of it. You got to do it. You got to take the loss so you get your money back, so you can put your money back into another trade. But
love it. Time value of money. You're absolutely right.
It more bums me out now because I don't have instant settle and I have to wait 2 trade days to get funds back. So I traded today, and I'll have to wait till Friday to be able to trade again. I'm sorry, I got a little confused towards the end.
Because you have because you have a cash account. Today's Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. For you listeners out there, yesterday was January 1st, so the markets were closed. So today does not feel like a Wednesday. It feels like almost a Monday, which is why I was, how is your money not available until Friday? But that's right. It's Wednesday right now. So that makes sense. That makes sense. And before I forget, are you still swing trading? Because I never heard anything about swing trading all of a sudden just punch you in the face. So why? Let's just start there. Are you still swing trading?
I'm getting back into swing trading now instead of the day trading. So
okay, because that is definitely where I was gonna, assuming of course that nothing drastic happened, but from my understanding, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it just sounds like more of a, the swing trading thing is, it takes a while. I want to trade like right now. So let's do this day trading thing. Not that there's anything wrong with swing trading and day trading, but I would say probably focus on one thing at a time until you get some consistency in one area or another. So and it sounds like you were doing pretty well with the swing trading.
Yeah, I think that so far swing trading for me is more consistent and less volatile. Whereas my day trading, like I got lucky for 2 days, and then just there weren't enough green days to make it those. There weren't enough green days to make those seem worth it. To make day trading seem worth it right now. So now I'm last week I spent some time going through charts and setting up some swing trades, and I just have them on my set up but not submitted yet.
Now, what are you looking for swing trading wise? What sort of setups is kind of your ideal situation?
I'd probably say momentum setups right now. I like looking at Tesla and Netflix and Apple. When I swing traded Apple and Netflix, and it worked out pretty good for me.
So you like momentum stocks. What exactly, are you looking for pullbacks, or are you looking for certain patterns? What exactly what's kind of on your checklist? Not that you have a literal one, but what's your sequence of what you're looking for that you would say, oh, that looks good because of, and then, fill in the blank.
I'd say pullbacks that are near areas that have shown support in the past. So if Apple has been trading at $300 for the past week or so, and then it comes down to $250 or something, then I might put it on a watch list and watch it, and when it starts to bottom out or come back up, I would buy into it.
Okay, there we go. That sounds more, because I like momentum stocks. Okay, that really doesn't mean anything. But now you're talking like you know what you're looking for. So yeah, no, that makes sense. You want momentum in the sense of it can move, but yeah, you're also not going to just chase the price and buy for the sake of buying because it has momentum. You would like for it to pull back to areas of support, but just because it pulls back to that area doesn't necessarily mean you're hopping in. You want to see, like you said, for it to stabilize some, or maybe even start to show some signs of life. And then you'd be interested in getting into the trade. Is that a fair summary?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Good. I just want to make sure that you're not out there just randomly throwing darts. And for a minute, I thought, okay, momentum, what does that actually mean? But you explain and define momentum in a way that leads me to say, all right, you're not out there just randomly throwing darts with your swing trading. Day trading I don't know. It sounds like you may still be in dart throwing stage to an extent, but it sounds like with swing trading,
definitely.
you got.
I would
What's
definitely,
that?
I would definitely say I was throwing darts during the day trade for sure. But they
Yeah,
weren't
I mean,
like,
but
I could see the
based on
board.
how you've
I was still
explained it,
throwing
I would
darts.
say that it sounds like you're lacking strategy from a day trading perspective. Like you said, even on your good days, that was just
Yes.
pure luck. And you have not been able to explain to me your day trading strategy in the way you just explained to me your swing trading strategy. So it actually makes sense why you've been having success swing trading, because now looking back, you were able to actually explain that to me, what you're looking for. Whereas day trading with those questions, it leads me to believe that you have some fine tuning to do within your day trading. Not that your swing trading can't be
Oh,
improved, but
yes.
do you get what I'm saying? That though, do you realize now, kind of in
Yes.
hindsight, that you were able to? Okay, cool, good. Well, and like I said, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that is that this is part of the process. This is part of how we all get better. And as commonsensical as it may seem to say, you got to be able to explain what you're doing. A lot of people, myself included, when I got started, if someone had said, Clay, so what are you doing? What do you explain? I'm becoming a millionaire. Okay, you didn't really explain anything there, Clay. What exactly are you doing? And I would have been, I guess I really don't know what I'm doing. So to listeners out there, thank Eilliot. That's why I will never get on anybody's case. Eilliot came on here. He's being honest. He's sharing, and he just provided us with a great real life example of, yeah, as silly, as commonsensical as it may sound, you truly got to be able to explain what you're trying to accomplish, or else it's going to be hard to actually execute it. So I'm not telling you not to day trade, Eilliot. I'm just saying I agree with your thought process right now of maybe I need to focus a little bit more so on the day trading, or excuse me, on the swing trading. Do you have any sort of indicators that you enjoy? Let me ask it this way. If I was sitting next to you and I was looking at your screen, looking at your charts and such, what do you exactly have on your charts?
I got their candlesticks, of course, not line charts.
Well, we're off to a good. I'm glad you didn't sit here and say line charts, and that's all I have. But candles, I'm assuming some moving averages.
Yeah, I got the 200, 50, and 8 SMA. They seem, I like the way they act, I guess. And then I have Bollinger Bands on my
Okay, and then
chart.
I'm assuming you have volume.
Yes, volume, of course.
So in other words, you have moving averages, price action, aka candlesticks, volume, and Bollinger Bands. And is that essentially it?
I have the MACD too, just to
Do
give
you
me
use
an
that much?
idea.
Okay. All right. So,
yeah, probably more than I should.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just glad to hear that you didn't list off like 40 different indicators that you have, because I was going to say, well, that may be another, complication within the process. But it sounds like you're keeping it simple, and more times than not, that's the way to go about it. I mean, so what are your goals going forward? I mean, obviously you want to keep improving, but do you have specific areas that you want to kind of fine tune, or what's the future looking like for you? I mean, you're 20 years old, so certainly no reason to rush. But as of the recording of this interview, it'll air a few weeks from now. But it is January 2nd of 2019. So I mean, do you have any New Year's resolutions in terms of your trading? If so, I mean, what are you looking to do this upcoming year?
I would say my resolution as a trader is to become profitable in the year 2019, meaning I'm not losing money every day or every week. I'm gaining a small amount, whether it's $5 or $100. I would like to be making some sort of profit monthly.
I like that. That tells me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're more so focused on building good habits rather than some sort of arbitrary amount. Sure, you want to be making money, but like you said, if it's $10, that's fine. If that $10 came about because I was displaying good habits, having a sound strategy, then that's what I'm focused on now, because that's, good habits are scalable. luck, you can't scale luck. But is that a fair
Yes.
summary of kind of what you're doing? Is you're not necessarily good. You're not focused on the money.
Yeah, it is fair.
You're just focused on building good habits. Good. That's and you're well on your way there. I mean, clearly you still got work to do, but it's not like you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off. And you're swing trading though. Yeah, that makes sense. Don't chase. Make sure things pull back to logical areas on the chart, and you're gonna have a bright future ahead of you. Even though we still don't know what generation you belong to, but yeah. Well, we're definitely gonna have to have you back and to get an update on things. And you're using your own headset, so that'll make logistics easy. But if Ches were here, because Ches is a nice guy, I know he would lend you his time machine. So if he did lend you his time machine and you could go back to, I mean, you don't really have that much to choose from. You only got 20 years under your belt. But if you could go back to sometime, in the past and give yourself one bit of advice, what would that bit of advice be?
I would say to commit to the CTU course earlier and just start. I would really just say get into the markets earlier if you could have. Like, I wish I got to where I am now when I was in high school. Like, if I could have got most of CTU in while I was in high school, I think I would choose to do that.
Okay. So get into the markets, but you're saying just get into it in a structured educational type of way.
Okay, I want to change my answer. I want to say to not start trading with real money until I completed the entire course. That's my answer.
Well, I liked your first answer better. That was such a good marketing pitch, but no, I'm just kidding. I appreciate the honesty, and I fully agree. Is calm down, learn what needs to be learned, and then move into the trading. And that's a very wise answer because, yeah, it is what it is in hindsight. But I get it. The markets are exciting. The markets, they do give you that rush, but a lot of times you just create more hassles than what's necessarily worth it. But yeah, high school would be a great, but you got to learn how to. Never mind. I won't go down that route. I'm not going to get up on my soapbox. So I'll just leave it at that. But good. All right. Well, now we got to move into the fun questions. So the most important question here: what is your favorite movie?
I got two answers. The first answer is a cop-out answer, and it's Wolf of Wall Street because I did enjoy the movie so much and thought it was great.
Movie is crazy.
Yes. And then I also really enjoyed the movie Act of Valor. It's a military movie.
Yeah, that's the one with
a few years ago.
Yeah, they use the real life Navy SEALs or something in it?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, that is a good movie. That's the one where they're is it scuba diving or snorkeling? But they're just their barrels or their guns are sticking out of the water and they're like sniping people. That's that one, isn't it?
Yeah, they're like in the Arctic, I think, or something.
Yeah. Regardless,
I do. It's been a few years.
Yeah, I have seen it, and that's a good movie. Not the best acting, but then again, they're real life Navy SEALs and not professional actors, so I'm willing to cut them some slack there. But overall, the action scenes and stuff that was awesome. What about food wise? And I know you're not going to say lobster because it's too rich for you, but up in Maine, I mean, what do you like to eat up in Maine?
I love cheeseburgers. A good cheeseburger.
I mean, that's straight up America, right? I mean, you're basically Canadian, though. Maine, longitudinally, is you're like in Canada.
We're in Canada, like pretty much.
But you like the good old American cheeseburger. Bless your heart. I mean, that's how you do it. I may be surrounded by maple syrup lovers, but I'm going with a cheeseburger. What do you like to do for hobbies? You can't say dirt biking. So outside of dirt biking, what do you like to do for hobbies?
I like computer gaming. I like video editing, graphic designing, and riding my unicycle.
You do a unicycle. Do you juggle while you're on the unicycle?
Not yet. Maybe that'll be in the future.
That would be impressive if you could. Here, I'll make this a trading analogy. Don't start with razor sharp knives, okay? I mean, that's kind of what you did to an extent with their trading, is you started trading with razor sharp. So if you're going to learn to juggle, start with something that's, are you getting the analogy there?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. That'd be my one bit of advice.
If
you're gonna learn that, don't be like, hey Clay, I'm learning juggling, and I got these 3 chainsaws. That would not be a good choice on your part. Okay, so just think things through. Good. I'm glad you're not gonna go. I don't want to read about you on the news. Finally, 3 words. What would these 3 words be, or what 3 words would you use to describe or associate with successful trading?
The first one would be discipline, honoring your stop losses, not forcing trades, all that good stuff. Ooh, you caught me off guard here. I'm trying to think of number 2. I have 3, and the last one would be breathe, just to not stress, have trust.
Oh, that's good. Breathe. Yeah, just chill out. Trust the plan.
That's my second word. Trust is trust the plan. Trust the plan, then breathe. I guess they're kind of the same.
No, it was good. It was good. I mean, discipline, trust, and then breathe. For anybody that's traded for an extended period of time, they know exactly what you mean by those 3 words. So those are definitely 3 words. Well, Eilliot, in all seriousness, man, you're 20, you're doing well, your head's in the right spot. You got the retirement accounts fired up. You're working, which is always good to hear. You're not yelling at your mom to make you more meatloaf as you're down in the basement or anything. That is encouraging. So just keep it up, and it's good having you back in the community. And I got you locked in with the avatar, so you cannot change your avatar. I know when I see the dirt bike, all right, that's Eilliot. I mean, so I'm locked. I'm laser focused, and it'll be fun to watch your journey unfold. But any final things before we wrap this up?
Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you, and I'm glad we could pull this off at the last second. So, because I saw you make that alert, and I'm thinking, wait a second. How is he making alerts if he was busy? But so I'm glad I asked, and I'm glad you said, hey, we can do it right now if we can do it. And here we are. So I appreciate that. And thank you again for hanging out.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
For you listeners out there, a final few things. If you're listening to this on YouTube, be sure to check out the rest of the channel. There's plenty of other videos. There's quick tip videos, live trade videos, vlogs, all sorts of stuff. So check those out. And hopefully you decide to ultimately subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on iTunes or any of the other podcast players, make sure to subscribe, especially on iTunes. If you could leave us a rating, that helps us out quite a bit, and we really do appreciate it. And finally, if you are listening at claytrader.com on the show notes page, then hit that share button and leave us a comment down below the video player. And we pride ourselves in being interactive and answering questions, comments, suggestions, whatever. And we'd be more than willing to answer anything you have, or you can just contact us through social media, through the website chat box, whatever makes your life easiest. And we will get back to you as quickly as possible. And I think that is it. So thank you, Eilliot. Thank you to all you listeners out there. We will see you back next week.
This has been the Stock Trading Reality Podcast. Thanks for taking the time to hang out. To learn more about Clay and the Clay Trader community, including the trading team, premium training, and more, visit claytrader.com.